Hello, good evening. My name's called Steve here, and I just want to kind of I've got guests. I've got a guest on my show tonight. I've got Eddie Vee. He's an Elvis impersonator, and he's done loads of shows, and he goes on Facebook. And so yeah, come up in a bit. I just want to say something to you at the moment. Thank you very much for sharing my videos. Please share, like, and yeah, thank you very much. Now we're going to go over to Eddie Vee. Are you ready?
I am ready. Ready Eddie, that's what they call me. Ready Eddie V.
Yeah, you always make me laugh when I watch your videos. Can you tell me how you started in it?
How did I start? Well, well, I used to be a DJ, you think, all over the country DJing, and then I started working on holiday sites.
Right.
And I was working on a holiday site one time, and they said I was actually working as a entertainment manager. And the manager of the camp said, "Oh, we haven't got an act, a speciality act." He said, "And we'd like you to do the opening session of the week on the Saturday when all the guests arrive, and I want you to close the week by finishing off on Friday night before they all go home."
Right.
So he said, "Well, is there anything you can do?" I said, "Well, I can sing a little bit." I'm going, "Well, what do you sing?" I said, "Well, I do a few standards, Frank Sinatra, a bit of Tie a Yellow Ribbon, all the classics." He says, "No, we don't want any of that." I said, "So, well, what do you want then? Do you do songs by anybody special? Anyone a bit more popular?" I said, "Well, I do a bit of Elvis." And someone said, "I do a bit of Elvis." His ears pricked up. He says, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "I just casual hits like Return to Sender, Teddy Bear, Blue Suede Shoes, all the basic ones. I didn't do any ballads at that time." And the guy said, "Oh, brilliant." He said, "We'll sort the band out. You can do them." He said, "You can open the whole week up by doing that." And I was there for about 3 months, I think it was, and every Friday and every Saturday and every Friday, I'd be opening and closing the week with my Elvis. And people saw me on that. When I came back to Yorkshire, people said, "Oh, we've seen you on at the holiday camp. Can we book you to do an Elvis show?" I said, "Well, I only do 6 or 7 songs." So I teamed up with a couple of other Elvises, and we went out as a trio. And then eventually I built up the act, so I actually knew over 100 Elvis songs, and then about 200 Elvis songs. So it was picking up nicely. Because obviously this isn't karaoke; you actually have to learn the songs, learn all the words. You see, so
okay. Well, that was difficult then, wasn't it?
Yeah. What's happened there? Is that me?
No, we're okay. We're carrying on. It's just some
all right. Okay.
pictures that we're showing. That's all.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can see me with Anne Robinson off Weakest Link and a bit of a live stage show, performing for the Queen and Princess Anne on Millennium Eve. And yeah, and then that's my little daily live show you can see there. Yeah, so that's me with Anne Robinson. You've all seen her off the Weakest Link. That's me on stage in front of about 3,000 fans in Leeds. And that's me down in London at the O2, not the O2, different venue. Then we went down to the O2 for Millennium Eve, obviously.
Yes. Do you ever go to the conferences and the Elvis conferences?
Yeah. The conventions, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got noticed by the TV people. First time back in about 1990 something or other. We were having an Elvis convention, the first one of its kind in York. Nobody had ever put on an Elvis convention before, and I was doing a few songs, and towards the end of the evening, when we switched over to disco, at the end of the evening, this lady came up to me and says, "Oh, from the BBC. Well, I think you were absolutely brilliant. Would you like to come and perform for us on Children in Need?" I said, "Oh." So I said, "Well, yeah, I'd love to." So I ended up doing Children in Need, and that was like broadcast all over the country, obviously. Yeah. And then from there, the BBC started using me on all sorts of things. Every time there's a bit of Elvis, then ITV took me on. I went and did on This Morning a couple of times, and various shows like Trisha and Vanessa. And in 2004, in 1994, I tried to set the world record for performing the most Elvis songs, but it was very good and it raised a little bit of money. But apparently it wasn't done officially to the right standards. When you set a world record, you have all sorts of things to follow. You can only have so many breaks, etc. So in 2004, we organised a big event called Walk a Mile in My Shoes after an
All right,
Elvis
yes.
song. Except it was Walk a Golden Mile, because the Golden Mile, we did it at Blackpool at a place called the Queen's Hotel.
Yeah.
And while we were there, I set the world record properly, just me singing with the correct breaks and everything, of 242 Elvis songs. They were all different. We did repeat about 78 different ones, I think.
Right.
Just repeated. You couldn't repeat the same song within 2 hours. So every 2 hours, you had to make sure all your songs were different in 2 hours. And every song had to be over 2 minutes long. And yeah, we did that. So 242 Elvis songs in 12 hours. And raised a couple of £1,000 for international cancer research. So
£2,000. That's quite good, isn't it?
it was good, yeah, because people donated. It was the first time people had started. What about then? They started doing that thing like, is it Just Giving? I think it was the first time we did something like Just Giving. Yeah, it was either Just Giving or something very similar. So people could donate online, and we had people collecting at the actual venue. And there we go. Oops, what have I done? I've pressed the wrong thing. Oh my goodness! Can you still see me there?
Yeah, we're all right.
Sorry, yeah, that's okay.
What's your favourite Elvis songs then? You must have some.
Well, I like Jailhouse Rock, but I don't like singing it because I don't think I ever do Jailhouse Rock justice.
Right.
And I'm now more into the ballads myself, because I never used to play any Elvis ballads. All my shows used to be absolutely everything fast by Elvis, all the rockabilly stuff and all the. But then obviously songs like Always on My Mind, Let It Be Me, Wonder of You. These are all songs that everybody seems to love more. Suspicious Minds. Every gig you do, you get Suspicious Minds. And I've been doing these online shows on Facebook while we've been in lockdown. 650 now, which is where you've seen me, obviously.
Yeah.
And the most popular songs are totally different because people online tend to be Elvis specialists. And Can You Do Just Pretend? And You Gave Me a Mountain, and a lot of rarer songs. So and a lot of songs. I don't do many of the film songs because Elvis, in my show, I don't do many because Elvis said he never liked any of the songs that he did in his films, apart from Love Me Tender and Can't Help Falling in Love. That was his two favourites. You never saw him do.
That's what surprised me really, because Elvis's songs, they were very his films were very, very popular, especially Blue Hawaii. And I just couldn't understand it. That people kind of didn't like, the film music at all.
He didn't. Honestly, the only songs he did live regularly were "Love Me Tender," "Wooden Heart" occasionally live, "Can't Help Falling in Love," which was his finishing song. That was about it really. All the rest of the time, he just said, "I don't have anything to do with songs. All my live shows I want to be proper live." Songs written. So we'd either do songs by other people that were popular, or his own songs. Like I say, the songs that we do now, like Just Pretend, is I mean, I've never really liked Just Pretend, but it's amazingly popular online. Every time I do Just Pretend online, it does get a good response.
Because you get a lot of.
I still prefer the fast stuff. I'm still a rocker.
I like it when how many suits have you got? Jumpsuits then?
How many?
Jumpsuits. How many Elvis costumes have you got?
Well, I have got about 5 jumpsuits. One's only one that's like a proper replica. The others are more like Eddie Vee suits.
Okay.
Because the design, just because I didn't really like the idea of doing the jumpsuits, because I wasn't into the jumpsuits. But actually, when you get on stage and wear them, you do look good, and they enhance all your moves. If you're doing Elvis and you're giving it all the action, the jumpsuits enhance all your moves, and they show off your bottom nicely as well. So it's not bad. But yeah, I've got about 5 jumpsuits, one proper replica one, and then a few others that are sort of my costume maker's own designs, and just called Eddie Vee outfits. I think you had a picture, but you could see one of them on there that says Eddie Vee on the back there on one of the pictures.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of mine were like that, because I said, well, I'm not Elvis, so why am I going around with an outfit with Elvis on my back? So I had Eddie Vee put on instead, which looks a bit better. You can see the last one right there. Princess Anne. Yeah.
That's really good, yeah.
Yeah, that one there. Look, see, that's a proper Eddie Vee suit, and that's been to some famous places. I actually did if you watch Lee Evans, Lee Evans, the comedian. I was featured on his live tour in Cardiff. You can see me on the Lee Evans XL. towards the end. There's quite a few Elvises on there, but you can see me. I'm pretty near the front, and you can see my costume. And there's even a little bit of extra bits on the DVD where you can see me again talking to camera, etc. on the Lee Evans DVD. So that was quite a good thing. It has been in some good places, that outfit.
We'll talk about that more in a minute. What song are you going to sing then? What's your first song?
Well, I thought I'd do one that everybody knows and everybody likes. A little bit of Return to Sender. How does that sound?
Brilliant. Carry on.
Right, I'll do that.
Return to sender. Return to sender. I give you a land that you the promised land. You put it in his plan. Right early morning, he brought my letter back. She wrote on it. Return to sender. I trace of gold. No such number. No such soul. We had a quarrel. Love is back. Rolling right, I'm sorry, but rolling keeps coming back. So when I put it in the mailbox, I feel a special thing. Right and early next morning, it came right back to me. She wrote it on. Return to sender. Everybody, come on. Dress some down. No such person. No such song. This time I'm gonna take another. Who'd have when we come back the very next day, then I'll understand. The radical return to sender. I dress some more. No sense number. No sense of whoa. Return to sender. Return to sender. Return to sender.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, have you ever been to Memphis or to Elvis's home?
To be honest, when I was the world record holder, I was invited by Graceland to go over for the 25th anniversary.
Right.
The only problem with that is I don't actually fly. I'm one of these people that don't like going on planes.
No, not me too.
That was a bit of a letdown. And the other thing was I already was booked. So I fancy having to turn down the 25th anniversary at Graceland by a special invitation because you already had a booking at a local club for about 200 quid. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Yeah. So what would you want to do?
But, you know, that's it. If people book me, I'm booked. It don't matter what I get offered. Once I've confirmed it, I'm booked it. I'm a man of my word, baby.
Okay, okay. So these videos through lockdown and what you've been making through the lockdown, you've touched so many people's, lives, because I've read like on Facebook sometimes where there's people been really depressed, they've been really down, and seeing you come on, they've all cheered up. I've seen it in the comments what they've been writing.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. How have you been coping? Because only money you get is when you do your gig. So how do you cope without no money coming in?
At the moment, it's been a bit dire because obviously I haven't worked since lockdown started. Apart from an odd couple of care homes, which obviously you don't get lots of money for doing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, like everybody else, we've earned practically nothing. Not a lot you can do. But people, just recently, I set up a PayPal thing so that people, if they're watching the shows, they can make a donation to PayPal.
All right.
But it does seem, it does seem very strange to do that though, because I've spent the last 30 years raising money as Elvis. I've helped raise nearly £2 million, which is quite a lot of money over about 25, 30 years, whatever it's been. Because I've been going such a long way. I can't believe I've been doing Elvis for 30 years when I'm only 35. I mean, that's.
I want to ask your proper age.
Yeah.
I want to ask your proper age. What's
Yeah.
the best venue? What's the best venue you play at?
Well, you know, the O2, Wembley, well, Wembley Arena actually.
Right.
They're sort of like the biggest places I've been. But that's more or less as a guest, not so much as putting on my own shows. But I've been to some nice places. I quite liked actually our very own Batley Variety Club, what as used to be. It was known as the Frontier Club after it was Batley Variety Club, and so we put on a couple of nice shows there, both on my own. See, now that's in a Debenhams store. See, we play all kinds of venues. Debenhams store, look, there we go. So that raised quite a bit of money. That's me with another Elvis called Dean Holland, who also does a lot of fundraising. He's raised thousands of pounds for charity as well. He does very well, does Dean. So,
did you get any discount in Debenhams?
I wish I did. No, I get a few free samples. Well, I can't now because they've closed it. They've gone bust. Everywhere I shut venues down all over the place, even Debenhams stores. Look, you don't put Eddie Vee on, you'll be closed.
You did go to Dingoes then as well.
To be honest, I go all over the place. I've played. I'll tell you some of the stores I've played in. I played in Woolworths and Boots, Debenhams. Where else? I think I did a Big Macs and Spencer. What was the other place? The Thornton's Chocolate.
All right.
But I've done quite a few
they
stores.
They paid chocolate then, did they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Just hang on a minute. We got somebody in. Sorry. Yeah. So sorry, it's just visitors. All right, we can talk. It's okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So what was I going to say? Oh, what can I see there? That's all interesting. Yeah, that's a competition called the Elvis Academy, which I helped set up.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to go on next. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't win that one. One of the few. I've won over 50 talent shows actually.
Right.
But since 2004, I only enter ones that are Elvis ones now. I tend to enter ones where there's a mix, so I can do something different. Because sometimes you can get a bit stuck as Elvis, but obviously people know me as Elvis all the time now, and you know when they book me, it's mainly as Elvis. But I do Roy Orbison and Billy Fury, Buddy Holly. They're some of my specials. Cliff Richard, hi there, you know. So
that's right.
But obviously, people know me. I'm actually known as the Yorkshire Elvis because I always say that if Elvis came from Yorkshire, he'd sound like me. You know. So when people say you don't sound like Elvis, I say, well, if Elvis came from Yorkshire, he would sound like me. So you know. And to be fair, a lot of my American fans love it because they get so sick of everybody singing. And that sort of style, and I want to say, well, lads, let's crack on, you know, and they love the English or the Yorkshire accent when they perform, so it's all good.
Right, let's go to TV. I was told by someone that you went on to Judge Rinder.
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of TV.
I know.
The Judge Rinder is literally about the least sort of show that I've done. I've had a couple of documentaries done. I did a documentary called Elvis is a House Husband, which was one of Channel 4's best viewed shows ever. About 6 million people watched it. That was about 2001, I think, something like that. But I was in all the papers then. I was in all the main papers, Sun Star, even Financial Times I was in. Featured in that. Everybody loved it. I've done tons of other bits of TV, documentaries, Family Matters and Family Confidential. Again, these like mini documentaries. One called Without Prejudice, which was another sort of biography. All right. But like I say, a lot of people about 3 years ago saw me on Judge Rinder, where I did win my case, thank you. And that was quite good fun with the Judge Rinder. You know, good fun. And it's a popular show. And strangely enough, strangely enough, the show that we did has been selected as one of Judge Rinder's most popular shows. It's actually the fifth. It's either the fifth or the sixth most popular show, and it's been shown. I think it's 10 times now. 10 times since October. 10 times since October 2018. So that's quite a lot of shows, you know. And they keep wanting me to go on there's something else to come back. If they said to me, if you can find some other reason to come back on, please get in touch. I'd love to get me back on the show. But I can't find people that owe me enough money.
Have you ever done film?
I'm actually in a film. I'm in an Oscar-winning film. Strangely enough, at the same time, 2 films came up. One was Elizabeth, you know, the Elizabeth with Kate Blanchett, and the other one was A Little Voice, you know, with Michael Caine. And I got a chance to be in either of them, but they were both being filmed at the same time, which was annoying. And Elizabeth was filmed in York, which made it easy. So I said, right, well, and they asked me to sing in that, and I said, well, what am I singing? Oh, you're singing an old 16th century madrigal song, which will be performed at the wedding. All right, so sort of at the beginning of Elizabeth, when she gets married, or not married, it's the coronation song. When it's the coronation, you see her marching down what's supposed to be Westminster Abbey, but it's actually filmed in York Minster, and it looks like there's loads of choir, like lots of people singing in the choir all along as she's marching down with the coronation thing on. You see all the archways, and in every archway there's a choir. Well, all those choirs were made of the same people. Like 12 of us, or was it 20 of us, something like that, that were all on this like bit of rostrum. And what they did, they digitally altered all our faces and went all along. So like 10 different archways, all the same people, but with all our features and beards and moustaches swapped over. So we looked like an enormous choir, you know, which is really strange. It was very cleverly done. People don't know that. But the big thing about that was I got to have lunch with Kate Blanchett and Christopher Eccleston, 2 of my favourite actors at the time. And there's me sat having lunch with them, as well as Christopher Eccleston's mum and dad as well. They joined us. So that was quite something to remember.
Yeah.
So do you think we should do another song?
Yes, if you can,
Oh, look, I can see some famous people there.
Yes, we've got that up,
Yeah, Atomic Kitten there. That's me with Atomic Kitten. They just started off when we had that picture taken. When I had that picture taken, an hour later, they were on the way to Japan. This is me doing that was me with the Vegas Girls doing another Elvis show in Liverpool. That's me with Shirley Bassey. Now, Shirley Bassey and me were filming on the same day. I was filming on the National Lottery, and she was filming a Shirley Bassey special for New Year's Eve. And we actually shared the same dressing room, which was amazing. It was very strange because they timed the breaks so that when I wasn't in the studio, they switched everything round and put all Shirley's things in. Then as soon as Shirley wasn't in there, they took all Shirley's things out, put my things back in. And it was like that. But the best thing was the after show party, because they all came and Shirley was, you know, very good company. She likes to drop a red wine and a bit of champagne, does Shirley. Yeah, very, very great to be with. And she loved my Elvis. She said, oh, Eddie, she said, I love Elvis and I love you. She said, I think you're wonderful. You have a beautiful body. So when you get Shirley Bassey tells you that, you don't really worry about anything else then, do you?
No, you don't, no. So what's your next song then?
I was going to do Sweet Caroline, because I think everybody likes that, don't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, they do, yeah.
So for all the Carolines out there, in fact, everybody that likes this song, this is what I'll do. Here we go. Clap your hands. Here we go.
Where to begin? I can't begin to know it, but now I know it's growing. Was in the spring, and the spring is summer. You believe you and I lost. Touch your hand, reaching out, touching, oh, Caroline. Oh, I think it's mine. I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only 2. And when I heard the drums on my shoulder, how can I hear when only you? one. Touching one. Reaching out. Touch with me. Touching you. Oh, Caroline. Your time better sleep so good. Oh, I'll be fine. Till the late night at the woods. Oh, Caroline. Your time better sleep so good. Sweet Caroline.
Woo!
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Just gonna drink that.
By the way, if you've got any questions for
Have I
Eddie,
got any questions?
no,
Oh,
I'm just
people there.
telling everybody, if you've got any questions for Eddie, let us know and we will ask him. We might not answer all of them, but he will answer answer most of them.
Yeah, I've noticed some nice comments there. Thank you, guys. I think Marlena and John and Rachel Whelan there. I think I saw you just appear while I was singing. Thank you very much. I have a devoted set of fans. We have about 250 regulars that watch the show literally every day, and most of them stop start to finish. You know. We've got see like there. We've got Lolly who's done a show with me, and she's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I've been trying.
Oh.
I want to get her on my show. So
You do want to get on the show. She's so talented. She has a lovely voice.
yeah, I'm going.
And Jenny Pierce there was one of the original people that helped when I actually set up the show. And she tagged loads of her friends and got them all involved. So
Yeah. Now,
and Rachel was a wonderful person.
Yeah, I see Rachel with one of your t-shirts and everything.
Yeah, and Melanie. See, Melanie's in Germany.
All right.
She goes out of her way to try and make sure she doesn't miss the show. And what I normally do is, if people miss it, I do try and send it to them on catch-up. And we have another lady called Marlena, which I have to say properly, Marlena. And she's a tremendous help. She shares the show around when we're going live and gets people listening in. So
yeah, we got a question here. How old were you when you first started singing? And that was from Jenny.
Well, it won't give anything away if I say, let me have a think. 30.
30.
When I started singing properly, when I started doing Elvis, anyway, I was 30.
Yeah. There you go, Jenny.
So that's 5 years I've been doing Elvis now.
Oh, there you go. So you must have sung. You must have sung when you were younger. You must have been in the choir or anything.
I was. I actually. I was classically trained. I was classically trained at school and after school, and I sang in the church quite a bit like Elvis with the old gospel.
Yeah.
And I've sung in phonetic Russian and Latin and French and German, but obviously I can't speak any of them. We had our songbook, so we didn't learn it all off by heart. And I also sing with an opera group, York Opera, and we've done a lot of Gilbert and Sullivan, like Pirates of Penzance and and Sure Daughter was in that, and Fidelio, other classic operas.
Marlene says to me, says to you, is any song particular that means something special to you?
It's Midnight is quite a one, because I remember being in hospital when I was listening to It's Midnight, and I was just feeling a bit down, and It's Midnight came on, and I thought, yeah, that sounds about right. It's midnight, and I miss you, because you're just all alone in hospital, and sometimes you get that. That had a bit of impact. But Jailhouse Rock is just me.
Yeah. I love Jailhouse Rock. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great song. But I do try not to sing it because I never think I do it justice.
Yeah, I just love it. I love rock and roll, and I'm a big Elvis fan. Very big Elvis fan, and it helped me get through, my personal life too.
It's amazing when I do a song sometimes, and even when I've done songs live, I've had people come up to me and say, "Oh, the way you sang so and so, it absolutely touched me here," and brought to you. And you see people when you're doing shows and they're like this, and I'm going, and I would say, "Well, I'm not that bad, am I?" And they say, "No, that song was so special, and you sang it beautifully." It could be something like Love Letters. Usually the ballads that do that.
Eddie, if I don't tell you in a minute, I'm going to tell you something now. I think you're very good at what you do, and from me, from everybody on your Facebook site, thank you very much for bringing us through, you know, some bad times, because, you know,
Thank
without
you.
you've done really well. Thank you.
No, it's
You know,
nice to feel that I make a difference.
you're making a difference.
That makes 650 shows worthwhile.
Yeah, you see, you are making a difference to people's lives, you know, and you know, and you know, it's you know, you know, I think you're fabulous, mate. I do.
Oh, thank you.
What else is it here? Just some messages coming through. Just trying to read them all.
What's
Do
that?
you do you play
Yeah.
do you play guitar, Eddie?
Only on one string at a time.
Only on one string at a time.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Right,
I can pick out a tune, you know.
right.
You know, something like that. I can play piano a lot better, and I'm actually more famous for playing the recorder.
You've got some.
Which I've never been taught to play a recorder. I just pick it up and it's just like magic.
Yeah,
I just play the tunes. It's weird.
Yeah,
You know.
I see that. Yeah. So what have you got planned for the rest of the year then, when all this is over done with?
Well, obviously, because we've done so many live shows on Facebook, a lot of the people off Facebook want us to do a show where everybody who's regular can come and see us live. So that's all on the cards. I'm working on things. We've got a fan club going, and so we're working on stuff like calendars and mugs, pens, T-shirts, things like that for people to collect.
Okay. Just let us know what we're doing. We'll promote that for you as well. You know, we're on our shows and everything. So
yeah,
you know, and you know,
if you're out there, join the Eddie Vee fan club. We've got the website www.eddievee.co.uk set up now, so people can go to that. And they can book the shows direct through there. We're not an expensive show. I tried to keep it affordable for people. I did used to go out for lots of money, but obviously people can't afford lots of money nowadays. I don't think so.
Do I get a discount then?
So can you say that again?
I said, do I get a discount then?
Yeah, of course you get a discount. Honestly, what be more than $1,000? You know, we'll keep it well below for you.
Oh,
so,
thanks.
promise you that.
Thanks. I better start a GoFund page up then.
Yeah, go from Steve's show. Yeah.
yeah. No. What else? There was something else. What was I going to say? Do you ever get any pros?
Not really. No, I think people just because I go out as I am and people know me as a sort of a nice, amiable, everyday person. You know.
Yeah.
Basically, oh, you've seen the shows. You don't see many, do you?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I mean, I've seen some people get literally all the way through the show, people being rude, which I think is pretty offensive. Because at the end of the day, however good or bad you think somebody is, they all bring something to the table. As my friend Jim Santana says, every Elvis brings something to the table, and they all make a difference. And who's to say that the way that one person impersonates Elvis is right for everybody else?
That's it. You know, that's what I was.
I see guys that go out and they look. They're very like Elvis. They sound like Elvis. They've had plastic surgery so that they look like Elvis. They spend lots more time on the. I used to do a lot more of the moves, but you know, getting a bit you know. I don't jump on the tables and do all the somersaults like I did, 10 years ago.
Oh, we did,
but anyway, so people's own idea of Elvis is up here, and if I do a song and people say, "Well, that was just like Elvis," then that's brilliant, you know. I just tried to sing the songs my way, put my own little Eddie Vee stamp on them, without trying to be too Elvisy, without saying I never say I am Elvis. I usually say I'm the Yorkshire Elvis, as I said before, and this is how I do the songs. And if you like it, that's brilliant. But if you want somebody that wants to look and sound alike, you see the problem with that, it can always look like you're taking the mickey a little bit. You see, and that's the thing you got to be careful of, that you don't sound like you're taking the mickey out of Elvis. And sometimes I think these people that copy all the moves and in between songs they're going, I recorded this when I was just 18, and it was, as if they are Elvis. And so you're not Elvis, mate. Shut up. Just it's all right if you're in a play. If you're in a play, fair enough. But if you're performing on stage, you don't go say to people, "I am Elvis."
Yeah, I went on a particular site the other day, and I listened to an Elvis, and they were giving him jip. They were like taking the mick out of him, everything. And I just felt sorry for him, he was.
And especially if they've never sung online before or sung anywhere before, it's really mean,
Yeah, I think this guy came from Canada or something, so but it's really bad, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw a young lad from Australia get some grief on an early thing. I don't think it was on a particular site. He just went and put his own stuff up, but he got really. All right, he was singing out of tune quite a lot, so that's fair enough. But you know, he was doing his best, and if people are doing the best, why should you knock them? They're not getting paid. They're just doing it because they enjoy it and they want to share it with you.
That's it. I think we should have another song, I reckon, because I'm getting bombarded with messages here.
It seems to be a lot of messages there, doesn't it? So let's see if I can find one more good one for us. Let's have a look. This one is one of my favourite ones, I think. Actually, no, I think we'll do this one. We'll do this one. A little bit of It's Now or Never. It's Now or Never was Elvis's best-selling single. I think it sold over 8 million copies worldwide. Last time I looked. So this is like the up-to-date concert version of It's Now or Never. So I think we'll give it a buzz, yeah?
When I first saw you, with your smile so tender, my heart was captured, my soul surrendered. I felt like time, waiting for the right time. Now that you're here, the time is here, and everybody say, it's now or never. All the time. You think I don't be mine tonight. Tomorrow will be away. It's now or never. Love away. Just like the willow, we would cry. It we lost true love and sweet devotion. Your lips excite me, will in your arms invite me. Oh, no way, we'll meet again this way. All together, come on. It's now never, and all the time. You keep my love. We find tonight, tomorrow will be away. It's now or never, my love will wait. It's now or never, my love won't wait. It's now or never, my love won't wait. It's now or never.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I had a pair of knickers, I'd chuck them at you.
Thank you. I've had it. Just pretend to put the scarf on.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
There's your scarf, Steve. Yeah, there you go.
That's, yeah. Before we come to the end of the interview, I'll just a few more questions, and that'll be it. I want to ask you about it's a sensitive question. When you do all your lives and everything, do you get to a point where sometimes you think you get so emotional when you're in your singing?
Oh yeah, quite often.
Yeah. I've noticed that. Yeah.
For instance, when I do You've Lost That, no, not You've Lost It, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Bridge Over Troubled Waters,
yeah.
That was my dad's favourite song, and he died of cancer, and he asked me to sing it at his funeral. Yeah. And we couldn't sing at the funeral, so we had it put on a disc instead and played after the funeral. But yeah, and particularly, he died, and I had to do the show literally the same night that he died, and I dedicated to him. Very hard trying to sing like yeah, you know. And yeah, just there are just other songs. Same as you might see me often burst out laughing at some songs because sometimes they trigger off a memory in here what somebody might have done during a song, and you start laughing when you think about it. You know, different things, silly things. You know.
Right. So is it just singing that you do, or is there any other Any other hobbies you got?
Well, when I'm not a singer, I'm actually a clairvoyant.
Are you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm known as G, the big G, and I've toured around doing psychic nights all over the country, really, between Yorkshire, London, Derby, everywhere, all around the country. Quite a lot in Lincolnshire. Did quite a bit of Lincolnshire. I
Oh,
do the
right,
tarot
okay.
cards. Do the tarot cards and the palm reading. I'm very successful, but it was taking over my brain a bit. So I sort of eased up on it. I still do the odd tarot card parties and psychic parties now for people. But that's my other thing when I'm not being Elvis. I am a little bit psychic,
What about what about the horses then? I see that you're into horses, aren't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I do a racing website. In fact, we did very well today. We had the very first winner at Goodwood at 22-1, and that's a great way to start the day with a 22-1 winner. Went a bit downhill after that, but
Did it?
22-1 winner pays for the day, don't they? There's only 6 races, so.
Gosh.
But yeah, I've been doing that for. Let me think. I've been doing the racing sites since about 2002, something like that. Now online, yeah, 2002, 2003 online. I used to do it for the Sun newspaper, the Sun newspaper's racing website. I used to do it on there. I've done a little bit of on radio forecasts, especially for Cheltenham, where they invite me on radio to pick winners out for people. And I managed to tip a nice 50-1 winner called Creager, if anybody remembers that. And I also tipped Norton's Coin at Cheltenham, which won at 100-1. So, hey,
So folks, the next Grand National, come and see Eddie, and he'll give you the winner, and we all could go away then. So.
Yeah, I just love people watching the show as well, though. I mean, it's great to have this following that I've built up over. I've been doing the lives since August 2018, so I've just about done one nearly every day, apart from holidays and the odd weekend off and a little bit of sickness. And I've also broadcast from my own shows as well, where I've been able to, private party. I said, can we come and film that? And people have loved the private parties, so even better.
Yeah, well done. Thanks very much. Can I be cheeky if you do another song?
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Can I be cheeky and ask you to do a last song?
Well, yeah, of course you can. What would you like?
Anything you want.
Let's do a fast one then. Let's do something.
All right.
Let's do this.
Sorry,
one.
I know I said about 3 songs, but
Well, luckily I've got all my favourite ones just lined up here, so I can just literally pick them up. Do you remember that film Jailhouse Rock? Well, I tend not to sing Jailhouse Rock, but I do this one from Jailhouse Rock, which is a great song.
When I walk through town, baby, you're gonna like this song. If you don't treat me right, whatever kills me once, it's me twice. And treat me like I know that it's wrong. It's not crazy, but if you don't know, I really got to breathe. If you don't want me to be, hold the line. Treat me like maybe you ever, but if you really care, stand up back there on your really true life. You know I need this way. If you ask me to, when you don't behave, hold right on you. And if you want my love, then take my advice. Everybody. And treat me nice. Make me feel at home. If you really care, scratch my back and run your really true mind. You know what I need this way. If you ask me to, but if you don't behave, hold right out on you. So if you want my love, then take my advice. Everybody. And treat me nice. And treat me nice. And treat me nice. Well, if you really only one I want to be nice.
Whoa! Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you. Thank you very
Anyway,
much.
Eddie, thank you very much for joining me. You've been a star. You've been really
Thank
a
you.
star. And every best of luck for the future. And you deserve it, mate. Really deserve it.
Thank you, mate.
All
I
right.
just not want to mention in one of those photos, you can see me with the green cross man.
Yeah,
Can you see that photo? Yeah, well, that is actually Dave Prowse, who was known as a stuntman, but he's actually famous as being the original Darth Vader.
All right.
But that is Darth Vader, the original Darth Vader. But because he speaks in like a Cornish accent, they didn't let him be Darth Vader. You know, it wouldn't be the same scene. I am not your father. So
Hang on for a second. I've got a message here. Do you have you had any funny moments on TV or radio?
Having a dance in the radio studios was quite funny. When I did an interview, we were all dancing.
Yeah.
On TV, probably not so much on TV. Probably the most embarrassing bit when I was performing a show and did the big Elvis move at the end, and I turned around to people and I went, bah, and then my trousers literally exploded up, and you know, the back of the jumpsuit split completely.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, thank you. Well, there you go. There's a very good encore. Thank you very much. Walking off the stage backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Anything? Have you fallen over, or have you haven't fallen over? Have you?
No, not really. No, nothing. I'm always pretty careful on stage. The worst thing I did, I was in a national final of a show, and I had to do it. I had an ingrowing toenail.
All right.
So I was trying to do the whole show in the grand final with an ingrowing toenail. That wasn't easy. Just because I used to do silly walks. I do impressions as well as Elvis, and
Yeah. What
that's all.
practice do you do?
I do a bit of Kermit the Frog. Hi there. Would you welcome to the Muppet Show? Okay.
Because, and I do a bit of a Cliff Richard. Hi. I'm just going with Hugh and Stubbs. We're going to catch a bus and go on some holiday. All right. Just a couple.
You're crazy. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for asking me on. I'm sure we've reached a whole new set of people on today's show. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Join me on Facebook. I'll be there. I'm there every day, just about. Come and see me with the other hundreds that watch every day.
Yeah, please join him. He's very good singer, and he's a very good entertainer. And thank you very much, Eddie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you. Yes. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to Eddie, and thank you really to everybody who's been on the show so far. If you want to come on to one of my shows, all you got to do is just kind of like message me, and we'll get you on as soon as possible. You know, and why I do this show is because it's about stigma and about the people know me. It's about my weight, and sometimes we all hide away from stigma, hide away from weight, and we're afraid to show ourselves. And some time ago, I made a video called "This Is Me." Well, I've got somebody to make a video called "This Is Me," and basically, this is me. And that's it. So anyway, good night. God bless. Thank you very much, Elvis, Eddie Lee. Thank you for the producer, Mono. Thank you. You ever joined us. Until next week. Bye-bye.